It is late on a Thursday night, and we are live on the San Francisco 49ers Report by Chat Sports because we have some breaking news. San Francisco has pulled off a stunner, making a trade for running back Christian McCaffrey. And we've talked about this over the last couple of weeks, and it finally comes to fruition. I've warmed up to the idea over the last couple of days, and usually, I'm not a huge fan of paying a big price tag for a running back, whether it be through the trade market, in free agency, or an overall contract. But the San Francisco 49ers have been an average and stagnant offensive unit all throughout this year. They have been paced and led by the league's best defense. They needed a jolt to the offense, and Christian McCaffrey is going to be able to bring it as he comes back to Northern California, where he played his college ball at Stanford. And funny enough, Kyle Shanahan used to babysit Christian McCaffrey when his father, Mike Shanahan, was coaching with the Denver Broncos, and McCaffrey's father, Ed, played for the Denver Broncos at that time. McCaffrey is expected to get on a plane tomorrow to fly to Santa Clara. He is expected to suit up for the San Francisco 49ers on Sunday against the Kansas City Chiefs, as we have a rematch of that Super Bowl game back in 2019 as the Niners try to exact revenge, and Christian McCaffrey will be in the lineup, at least he's expected to be, and should have a red zone package at the very least, and then his involvement in the offense is expected to grow from there. We're only getting started here on the show. I know a lot of people are pumped up, a lot of people kind of scratching their head about what the Niners gave up. As for what they gave up, we'll get to that around the corner, but man, this is a tantalizing playmaker who's been one of the more dynamic weapons in NFL history, as evidenced by the numbers that we're about to show you, and I'm really excited about this addition to this offense alongside Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and George Kittle. But first, this is why you subscribe to the channel. I was a little less than a mile away from the studio. I got the notification. I ran here. We went live. This is the level of dedication and the passion that we put forward here on the channel. Videos every single day, Niners news, rumors, and analysis. So hit that red subscribe button and join the largest faithful family here on YouTube. So here are the trade details for Run CMC. The 49ers receiving Christian McCaffrey, who in 2020 and 2021 was off injured, but in 2018-2019, he set a bunch of offensive records. I look at him more so as a weapon, not just a running back, because this guy can play a little bit of slot wide receiver, and he's a threat to take it to the crib at any time. The Panthers receiving a second-round pick, a third-round pick, and a fourth-round pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. San Francisco does not have a first-rounder still because they gave up 3 total picks for Trey Lance. Now they don't have a second-rounder. They do still have a third-rounder because they're giving up one of their comp picks, and then they're also surrendering a 2024 fifth-round pick as well. So let's hear from the faithful. Was this too much? Do you think that this move was justified? Do you like the price tag for Christian McCaffrey? I want to hear from you right now in the comment section. Type like it, type hate it. What do you think about this move? I want you to let me know right now. Now, producer Jeremy, if we could start to look at some numbers for Christian McCaffrey, this is the type of player that the San Francisco 49ers are getting. And yes, by making this move, I like it because the 49ers have a Super Bowl ready roster right now, and they're going all in. They're pushing their poker chips to the middle of the table, realizing that they have an opportunity to bring back yet another Lombardi trophy. And I appreciate the aggressiveness because they could have stayed pat. They could have stayed put, and they could have just gone with the current weapons on this offense. Instead, they go after one of the more dynamic weapons that we've seen in recent NFL history. And while he missed a lot of games in 2020 and 2021, this is what he's done this year. Christian McCaffrey and Nick Chubb, 2 of the only players in the NFL to have at least 100 scrimmage yards in 5 games this year. And this year, running the football, catching the football, McCaffrey has been awesome if we can go back to that, Jeremy. But there you see it, McCaffrey and Chubb in elite territory here. And this year running the football, 85 carries, 393 yards, 4.5 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns, 65.5 yards per game. And then receiving, 33 catches, 277 yards, 8.4 yards per catch, 1 touchdown, and 46-plus yards per game. So anytime this guy takes the football field and he's healthy, he's due for at least 100 total yards from scrimmage. And you look at what he did in 2018 and 2019, as we were about to pivot to those numbers as well, this guy was setting records all across the board. It really is filthy and blasphemous what this guy was able to do as a running back and a wide receiver, and that's why I categorize him less as a running back and more so as an overall weapon. Was he used a lot? Yes, but the Carolina Panthers used him a lot because they realized that this guy was a game breaker, and he could change the complexion of games. 2018, 2019, he played in every single game, 32 games total, 506 carries, 2,400 yards, nearly 2,500. He caught the ball 223 times for nearly 2,000 yards. That was a historic mark for a running back with 32 total touchdowns. And obviously, given the contract situation and him being somewhat injury prone, as evidenced by only playing 10 games in 2020 and 2021, this no doubt comes with a lot of risks. But Christian McCaffrey against the Los Angeles Rams last week was great. He displayed his value. Against the 49ers 2 weeks ago, I thought that he looked spry. I thought that he looked healthy. He looked really explosive. And I understand that the Niners have a lot of running backs who get injured a lot under head coach Kyle Shanahan. But maybe McCaffrey and his utilization as a running back in the slot will help preserve him to a certain degree. And also, he's on a loaded complementary cast that includes Deebo and Brandon Ayuk, who are up there among the best wide receiver duos in the NFL. George Kittle is still one of the best all-around tight ends in the league. This offensive line is starting to improve a little bit. All Jimmy Garoppolo has to do is handle business and play point guard. And if he plays average football, this Niners offense could be very, very scary. So to welcome Christian McCaffrey to the Bay Area as he makes his return to NorCal, cheers to him and hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. As for those contract details, this isn't just a one-year move. And I thought that some people made some good points in the chat saying, look, he's under contract for the next couple of years with a potential out coming up. But looking forward and projecting forward, his skill set really does benefit and coincides with the skill set of Trey Lance. Can you imagine the RPO game with Trey and Run CMC in the backfield? Now this year, in terms of the financial figures, the Carolina Panthers have pretty much eaten a lot of the salary for 2022. Little less than $9 million. Next year, though, it starts to get very, very expensive. Now, there are always ways to quote-unquote beat the system. You can restructure this contract. You can backload the money like the Niners have done for a couple of years with Eric Armstead. But there's no doubt $19.5 million in 2023, 2024 is very expensive. In 2025, he's due $15.5 million. Then he becomes that unrestricted free agent at 30 years old in 2026. And him being 26 years old right now gives me belief that this guy can stay healthy, that this guy still has very good football left in him. And if the 49ers are able to maximize this expensive roster with premier players, all pros, Pro Bowlers, future Hall of Famers, and if they make yet another deep run and potentially bring home yet another Lombardi trophy, then this move at the end of the day is all worth it. And a lot of fans of organizations out there, their teams, they don't go all in. They're not aggressive. They don't care about winning. San Francisco is showing right here that they believe in this team, that they believe in Kyle Shanahan, they believe in the roster construction, but they know that this team has a golden opportunity in the red and gold to bring back some hardware, and that's why they make this move, and that's why I'm giving them credit for making this acquisition. So your one-word reaction to the Christian McCaffrey trade is what? For me, it's a shocker. To me, explosive, because I think he adds that element to this Niners offense. I want to hear from you right now in the comment section. And then as we just think about this from the macro perspective, this isn't a one-year deal because he's under contract for the next couple of years. So Christian McCaffrey is going to be in the Bay Area for the foreseeable future. And for him, I'm sure he's really relieved. I mean, shoot, this trade was made official. He got on the phone with Kyle Shanahan. He's hopping on a plane tomorrow. He's already about to head out west from Carolina to the Bay Area and suit up for this game on Sunday. And in bringing in Christian McCaffrey, I think it makes this offense more explosive, less predictable, but there's more diversity to this offense. Kyle Shanahan wants to run the football, and finally, he has that bell cow back who has been able to prove throughout his career that he can shoulder a large load, and he can handle the workload of being that bell cow back. But also, if you want to preserve him, put him out to wide receiver. Run him on some of those wheel routes. Run some of those bubble screens to Christian McCaffrey. Also, play into the strengths of Jimmy Garoppolo where he can get the ball out quickly. What I also think this does, too, It then brings back the threat of Deebo Samuel as a runner. Imagine going split tailback in the backfield with McCaffrey and Deebo. You're not sure who's going to get the handoff. You're not sure if one of them's going to get the handoff. One could be a lead blocker. Both of them could go out for passes. And I'm excited to see what the level of creativity is going to be for head coach Kyle Shanahan. He can get in his bag with the play calling here. And while it puts pressure on him to win some football games, I'm excited to see what the play caller and the play designer in Kyle Shanahan can do with a weapon like this. And it also gives you more depth to the backfield. What does it do for Elijah Mitchell? I'm not sure. Jeff Wilson will still be RB2. Marlon Mack probably going to be on the outside looking in. So too is Tevin Coleman. So you're probably going to have a 3 running back rotation that will consist of McCaffrey, Jeff Wilson, and Jordan Mason. And then anybody else who wants to kind of claim RB4, they can do that. Or maybe the 49ers on game day will just go with 3 active backs on that roster. So as we round out our thoughts here on this segment, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's youtube.com/49ers TV. This is why you subscribe at the end of the day. Nearly 1,300 people watching live, and on the East Coast, it's well past midnight. On the West Coast, it's late. Here in Dallas, Texas, it's also late. But this is what we do, and this is the standard.